Final Tag 2020, and here we go. Number one, album that was your best find of 2019. Black Pumas. This is one that I did not discover until December of 2019. Had I discovered it a little earlier, it probably would have been in my top 10 list of 2019. Just an excellent album, very soulful, really digging the track colors. If you're not familiar with the Black Pumas, definitely worth checking these guys out. All right, favorite of 2019. If anyone has seen my top 10 list, you will have seen that Sharon Van Etten, Remind Me Tomorrow, made my number one pick for 2019. This is an excellent album. I didn't pick it up on vinyl until December, but it was released in January of last year. I did stream it throughout the year and finally broke down and picked it up on vinyl, and wishing I had done so a lot sooner. Excellent album. If you're not familiar with Sharon Van Etten, definitely worth checking out. All right, Novelty record. I'm assuming this is considered novelty, right? This is the Misfits EP, Friday the 13th. It's got the song Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Laser Eye, and Mad Monster Party. I picked it up last year and I shared it during my 13 days of Halloween back in October. Just songs about Halloween and horror movies, so kind of a novelty in my book. Homage cover. I'm not sure if this was intended to be an homage, but the cover to Jet, Get Born, has always reminded me of Revolver from the Beatles. I mean, they're both black and white. They have kind of like drawings on the cover. You got Jet in all caps and in black, and then you have Revolver in all caps and in black, and then on the back of the albums you got black photos, and same with Jet, just black. So again, not sure if it was intended, but just something that always makes me think of Revolver when I see this cover. B-side, deep cut. I'm gonna go with Radiohead. This is the single to Burn the Witch from their album Moon-Shaped Pool, and the B-side is a track called Spectre. Wasn't included on the album, but this is an awesome track. It's just piano based with Tom York on vocals, of course. Kind of a haunting tune. Something funky. I'm gonna go with Stevie Wonder, and this is his album Talking Book. Really like the track Superstitious, of course, and track 2 on side of A, Maybe Baby. I'm sorry, Maybe Your Baby. Just really like the use of the clavinova on this album. Just very funky in my books. Weird Shelf Buddies. I keep my albums alphabetized by artists. I don't separate by genre. I do keep the soundtracks and like the Christmas albums and that kind of thing separate. But I'm gonna go with Olivia Newton-John next to 9 Inch Nails. And the strangest thing about this is that I have Olivia Newton-John in my collection. All right, I Was There. I'm gonna go with Garth Brooks. This is his album In Pieces. This was the very first concert I ever went to. I was a senior in high school, I believe, maybe a junior. But he was touring in support of this album, full of energy. At one point, he ran across the stage and just kind of jumped out into the audience, grabbing a rope ladder that was suspended from the rafters. Just a very fun concert. Garth Brooks just released his Legacy box set, and I had to pick that up. And this is one of the albums that was included in that, and this is the one that I got to see him in concert. The one and only time I've seen him in concert. Wish I Had an OG. I'm not one that gets hung up on, having an original press versus a repress or a reissue. But just for the sake of showing something in this vinyl tag 2020 thing, I'm gonna go with Pearl Jam. This was released in 2009. I remember the original album artwork being pink, so I think it would be nice to have a copy of this album with the original pink background. Discography you own. I've got so many bands that I have almost all of their albums, if not all of them. Bush is a band. Ryan Adams is an artist that I follow. Pete Yorn, Rival Sons, BRMC, Oasis, The Beatles, Pink Floyd, Foo Fighters, STP. Just so many things I could have shown. So yeah, I've got quite a bit of some of these artists in their discography. Unique Center Label. This is an album that I picked up at Record Store Day, I want to say in 2017 maybe? Yes, 2017. This is the Black Angels, and this is their album Death Song. And just the cover alone was cool. It glows under neon light, or black light, I'm sorry. And that center just kind of reminds me of Bazooka Bubblegum. And came on a double LP. Here's the sleeve. And the album was pressed on glow-in-the-dark vinyl. And I just like the center label, how it's got the Black Angels against a red background on this side. And then on the other side, it has the Black Angels in blue. Just again, kind of reminds me of Bazooka Bubblegum. All right, pre-band. I'm gonna go with Alanis Morissette. And when she was touring in support of this album, Taylor Hawkins, of Foo Fighters fame, was her drummer. He, of course, joined the Foo Fighters and has gone on to be very successful with the Foo Fighters. So, Alanis Morissette with Taylor Hawkins on drums. Music, book, or movie. This is a book that I've had, for years. I think I got it in '95, maybe before that. But it's called Beatles Songs by William J. Dowding, and it's a book that lists all of the songs that were ever recorded by the Beatles. And then it just kind of gives you a bit of a history about each song, who wrote it, and who recorded what instruments. For example, Back in the USSR was written by McCartney 100%. He goes on to say that he wrote this as kind of a Beach Boys parody, and Back in the USA was a Chuck Berry song, so it kind of took off from there. He just liked the idea of Georgia girls and talking about places like the Ukraine as if they were California. It was recorded on August 22nd, 1968 at Abbey Road without Ringo. As far as instrumentation goes, McCartney did lead guitar, piano, drums, lead, and backing vocals. John Lennon played the 6-string bass and provided backing vocals, and then Harrison played the jazz bass and did some backing vocals. McCartney is quoted as saying that he was sure that it pissed Ringo off when he couldn't quite get the drums to Back in the USSR, and he sat in. It's very weird to know that you can do a thing someone else is having trouble with. If you go down and do it, just bluff right through it, you think, what the hell? At least I'm helping. Then the paranoia comes in, but I'm going to show him up. I was very sensitive to that. So, interesting book with little facts about each song and album released by the Beatles. I also want to show a book, and this is the autobiography just entitled Clapton, from Eric Clapton. Very great read. It's one that I picked up and read on one of my overseas trips. Just Clapton just telling his story, his battle with alcohol and drugs, and you know, the whole Layla story with him stealing George Harrison's wife, and then he goes on to talk about his son Connor and his death. It's just a excellent book. All right, next is an underrated album. This is one I don't see a lot in the VC. Just a tremendous album. I really like this album a lot. It's just fun. Fratelli's just haven't released anything I haven't liked. So this kind of ties into the batting average too. So this is going to be a 2-for-1. Great album. Fratelli's, again, just put out some fun songs that are kind of get stuck in your head. They're easy to sing along to and hum along to. Just so Fratelli's is going to be my number 15 and 16 underrated album and batting average. 16, same album, different cover. All right, this is going to be fun. All right, so this is Taylor Swift and her album 1989, and then Ryan Adams recorded all the songs from her album and made his own version of 1989. So these are the same track listings, same lyrics, just different versions. You have the original from Taylor Swift and then the Ryan Adams version. All right, bought cheap, worth money. I don't really keep track of that stuff. I'm sure some of the stuff I've bought at some record store days have gone up in value. I do know that there is a BRMC live album that I have that's worth a little bit of money now. Let me go ahead and pull that out. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared for that. Yeah. So I have 2 albums from BRMC that are live. This is the live in Paris. There's also one that's live in London. And both of those have gone up in price since I originally purchased them. So I don't remember what I paid for this. I bought it off the band's website. But this goes for more than $100 now on Discogs. So let's see, favorite drummer. I've got to go with John Bonham. His drumming style, and when it kicks in, you immediately know it's John Bonham. I just really dig his drumming. Mike Miley is another one that I really like, only because he sounds so much like John Bonham to me. So Mike Miley is a drummer for Rival Sons. Turning 20 this year, got several. Oasis, Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, turns 20 this year. 13 from Blur, turns 20 this year. Foo Fighters, There's Nothing Left to Lose, turns 20. This was just recently reissued. Queens of the Stone Age, rated R, turns 20 this year. And the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Californication, turns 20. And then last we have a trilogy of albums. This turns 20 this year, but it's also part of my trilogy. So Radiohead released 3 albums that make up my choice for the trilogy. First one was Kid A. This is the album that almost turned me off from Radiohead. It was very different sounding, kind of electronica, which I wasn't used to. Then they went on to release Amnesiac. Also had some electronica stuff on it, but I liked this album much more than I liked Kid A when it was originally released. I like them both now a lot. And then this one came out, and this is Hail to the Thief. Again, that sound that I was slowly but surely getting used to. Some really great tracks on this one. So my trilogy: Kid A, Amnesiac, and Hail to the Thief. That's going to do it for my Vinyl Tag 2020. There are a few shout outs I want to give. These are some channels that are fairly new to the VC and still growing in subscriber count. Comic Rama Jr. just joined. He held a contest back in December for the holidays. He's got some more subscribers since then. Troy over at Midwest Waves is a channel I just recently discovered, and he's kind of building up his subscriber base. Dan's Vinyl channel. Where have you been, bud? Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're doing well. That's going to do it for this video. Happy New Year to everyone, and I am very much looking forward to what you guys show and share in the VC as during the year 2020. Take care, and thanks. Bye.